the volume.
Turn up the volume.
You've arrived at the destination for all things Kentucky. This is the Bleed Blue Network Podcast.
What is going on, Big Blue Nation? All UK ball coming at you, Rando and Selena on a college football playoff surprise. Recording late today because the Georgia side of the Rando family was watching this game. Selena, they're not happy right now. They are not happy.
That was, some decisions were made. Some decisions were made.
I tweeted out there the first time. There has been no secret in my love of Kirby Smart on this podcast or on Twitter or anywhere that you listen to me run my face. Today, I definitely question Kirby. But hey, one thing that you can say is Gunnar Stockton is a guy. So if you're watching number 14 play football next year, you're not happy that you have to wait till next year. But I think if you are a Georgia fan and you got number 14 slinging it for you, you're okay. What you do have to do is go find a receiver who can catch the damn ball. Because I'm going to tell you right now, my old ass might be putting an application into Georgia because my wheels don't run as fast as they used to, but the hands still work. I guarantee that I catch the damn ball. I catch it. And I think that's all I need right now is somebody whose hands aren't broken because
Georgia had the most drops this season at like 30 something.
Most, and they showed up today louder than ever. I mean, they were able to overcome that with the run game. But yeah, it was rough. I tell you what, I mean, you can get away with Walmart hands at sometimes, but when you go to Dollar General hands, it's going to be a problem for you. So.
I feel like this should be Temu hand at this point.
Temu hand. Jesus Christ. Oh, yeah, you got me on that one. Oh, man. Yeah. But it is interesting. We talk about college football playoff. The teams that had a bye all lost. Mm-hmm. So the first round bye teams all got smacked.
Yeah, I think taking 3 weeks off definitely plays a huge role in that, especially in like football and against competition as of the caliber they're facing. We take 3 weeks off, we come back. That's what happens. I mean, look at Ohio State did at Oregon yesterday. I mean, that's
yep. And
that was a smackdown.
With the recency bias of me watching this game, right, where Georgia failed a lot outside of turnovers and missed opportunities on the offensive side of the ball. Just simple tackling. Like you saw dudes who were going for big hits and not wrapping up. So like I don't know how much you hear about Blood Tuesdays and you hear about like Georgia always is hitting throughout the season, even deep into the season. But yeah, I wonder how much of that was happening, because you got the Christmas break and people being gone and blah, blah, blah. So like how much actual hitting was going on as I got Timmy Tebow on my TV right now. Golly. Gross. Anyways, so let's talk about, too much time talking about the Georgia Bulldogs. Let's talk about Kentucky ball. Selena.
Yes.
When we left the last show, we said what we need is a Brown smack down. Like we need to just send them.
A Brown beat down, yes.
Yep. And we got it, right? We got that. They
we
covered 25.5 point spread when the game closed before tip-off, and they covered. So what did you see from the game, and what did you like about the Kentucky boys against lesser competition and doing what they needed to do?
I noticed there were first off, Amari Williams. Wherever that Amari Williams was, especially the first half with the defense, need him all year, please. Mm-hmm. Like, we need that hustle, we need those blocks, we need that all year. Every game, every minute he's in the game. So we've been waiting sort of for that sort of defense to show up from him because he has been a National Defensive Player of the Year in his conference. Mm-hmm. We've been waiting that to show up consistently in a game, or if at all in a game. So I'm very happy that showed up. Travis Perry looked much more comfortable with the ball in his hand. He didn't panic as much. He dribbled against pressure. Granted, it was Brown pressure, but still, dribbled against pressure. And that was good. That's a good sign. Means he's getting used to having the ball in his hand, practicing enough. Shots seem to fall a little better from consistently. Andrew Carr shot the ball for once.
Yep, without hesitation, just letting it fly.
Yeah, he just let it fly, which is perfect. So I'm glad we have a Brown beat down. Now, I'm still concerned about rebounding.
Yes.
We were out-rebounded first half, which should never happen especially against a team like Brown. But especially with the size that we have.
Wasn't it like 25 to 10? Like, it wasn't even close, right?
It was 21 to 10.
21-10. Okay, so it's
I'm
substantial.
saying 21-10, yeah, which is stupid. Like, should never happen.
I think their tallest player on the team is 6'8", which
yes.
I've said we have said multiple times. Size is not a factor in rebounding, but damn, when you got 2 7-footers on the damn court,
3 if you count Carr at 6'11". So I mean, that's a huge concern going forward because there are so many teams in the SEC that rebound like crazy, and if that problem is not fixed, we will get 8 up on the glass. Especially if we don't defensive rebound, they will have chance after chance after chance. And that will haunt us. What are your thoughts?
Yeah. No, so 100%. I put out there things that have to get fixed. We dominated turnover margin in the first half for sure. Whole game we did, but in the first half was pretty glaring. I think we had 5 fast break points in the first half off of those turnovers. Too many open or fast break opportunities where it was just like, like draw a foul or go up strong, and go up strong at the rim. Example was Colin Chandler got a steal, and he's the dude who I'm expecting to have some spring and try to go up, and he, instead of trying to finish strong at the rim, under the basket. I think it was even with the wrong hand. Yeah, it got blocked. So it's like that needs and 100% was the rebounding margin. Like that's an effort thing. And shout out Ansley because when Jaden, Joe, and I did the kind of pregame Bleed Blue show beforehand, it was like, hey, if we're gonna struggle rebounding and Amari and Garrison, those guys aren't going to give us that shot blocking potential. Yes, we can talk rim protection and do they alter shots? Yes, no, blah blah. But like on the stat sheet, block shots, it's not happening, and some of that physicality on the rebounding side isn't happening. So, what happens if we run a true 5 out and let Andrew Carr play the 5 and Ansley come in there run the 4, that sort of thing? Because he did it at FDU.
Because he's 6'8", right? So he has some size to him.
Right, yeah, he's not slight of build. Like he's a big dude. Like, no, is he a true center? No, but he can still get down there. And like I said on the thing, I'm not going to put him on the stratosphere of Oscar because Oscar wasn't a 7-footer either. But he led the SEC in rebounding because he wanted the ball. Like he went out there, he would elbow somebody. He would get out there and he would just be physical. And that's what you see Ansley doing. He's just like he hustles. The dude just works his ass off. And if you're gonna, and then he showed it in the game. Like when he was in there, he was fighting for it. So if you're gonna see that, then let's see some small ball lineups where Andrew Carr's the 5 because he's the best to the back center we have. Where it's like if you got to put him on the block and get a bucket, he can do that. Because even with Amari had the fast break, or top of the key going downhill layup, it went in, and he had that little off the block kind of hook shot floater ish thing. They both went in, but it's like it goes up like, and then it goes in. Like, no, okay, good job. So it's like it still doesn't look right.
Right.
But I would like to, especially in that game. Yeah. Especially if, you said that last show, like clunky that's the best way to describe it. In this game, I would have liked to see that lineup. I saw some more Ansley minutes, which I liked. Saw some more Brea minute. Also, Brea, you probably don't listen to the show, but if you do, or if someone who knows him listens to it, buddy, stop hesitating. shoot the damn ball. Every time you touch it,
Please.
shoot. I don't care
Please,
if you're just when he doesn't hesitate and that thing it hits like the banners in Rupp Arena and then comes back down and splashes nothing but net. But every time he just
makes
hesitates,
the best sound in the world.
But just a slight hesitation, it's not going in. It's like, man, I just wish you just let it fly. Like JJ Redick, that thing, let it go. Not even looking at the rim, just shoot.
He has the green light. Pope's not going to don't shoot anymore. It's like keep shooting him. Like
right, it's going to go in every time. But you saw some more minutes from him. Outside of the critiques that you're hearing from me now, like the team looked good, especially in the second half.
Mm-hmm.
They spread that thing out. And one thing that I want to get your opinion on that I said in the show was if we're going to have to rely on some of the freshmen to play with Kirk Kriisa being out, I would rather see Trent Noah get more minutes because his ability to shoot the ball and spread out the defense, while he may not be able to play defense in SEC play like we want him to, the offense for defense, like trading offense for defense is what it is. Because if he gets any space, he's shooting it and it's going in. Like he's showing that the dude is an absolute bucket. So what do you feel? Do you think you want to get Travis Perry point guard minutes or Colin Chandler to kind of figure it out? Or do you think we put J-Rob in at point guard and then you get Trent Noah in there to stretch the floor? Where do you think we get some freshman player? Or do you think it's just we're not going to get that rotation from Pope in SEC play?
No, I'm a huge Trent Noah fan. He plays with confidence. He plays loose on the court, and I've said this for a while. The game as of right now doesn't seem too big for him, even at the college level. You know what I mean? Like he just plays within himself. And he plays within whatever scheme the team is running. He doesn't try to do too much. His defense is getting better. He's also 6'4", though, so he does add size on the court within the court.
Yes, so he is the biggest of the freshmen, which is wild.
Yes.
Like you could say he's the least rated, but like when it comes to body type, he's the most stout built of those. So like he's the one who can handle these college.
He's a mountain boy. He's a mountain boy. Like it's what he is.
Yeah, he got quads like he's been squatting houses for his whole life. Yeah.
I mean, he might have been. You never know.
Squatting stills out there. Because his parents is moonshine or something.
Hey, Bill. Yeah. But no. So I've been much on the Trent Noah train fan club. I like his game. I do. I like his game. He's confident in himself too. So here's the thing. Colin Chandler is probably the most athletic freshman that we have by far.
Mm-hmm.
By far. But you can still tell that he's uncomfortable in a lot of situations on the court. Whether that's because he was gone from the game for 2 years. I'm sure that's something to do with it as well. And some of the things, like when he dribbles the ball in front of him, I'm just like, why? Like he does this thing, it's like right in front of him. I'm like, why are you doing this? Please protect it. Please protect it. And Travis Perry, like I said, he's getting more comfortable with the ball in his hand, which is what you want, especially with Kerr being out. Now, can we hand J-Rob the rock and say, hey, go PPG1? 1,000% we can. He's shown he can do it.
Mm-hmm.
But in the SEC, you're going to need more than one ball handler on the court at all times. And it is what it is. Like there's too many good guards, too many good backcourts in the SEC to not have more than one capable ball handler on the court. So I think they all need minutes in their own different ways. I mean, I would put Noah in there just to muck it up for size because he'll get in rebound. He'll go in the middle and try to rebound a ball. We can't get it. He tries to tap it out, right? Like he's in there every time. So I think it's a lot situational ball for them at this point.
Yeah, I agree. And nothing would, make me happier than like an Ansley tip out to Trent Noah for 3. Like that's something like that, and these guys can do it. But I tell you what, man, I was watching the game against Brown, and there is nothing that if there's one. No, all right. Let me phrase this the right way. If there is one thing that will get these old whites off their feet is Travis Perry and Trent Noah to hit a 3 in Rupp Arena. they will find a way to get up off their feet and stand up in Rupp Arena. That's all we needed. I watched it on the. I know I'm out here in California. Travis Perry hits a three, and all of a sudden you see, Grandpa's like, all right, damn it, I better stand up because the Kentucky boy, and then Trent Noah hits one. They're like, God damn it, I better stand up again. Yeah. Oh my goodness! It's like, okay, we found that. Yeah, we found what it takes. It just get the Kentucky boys to make some buckets. And next year they're going to be standing up a lot because we got two Kentucky boys who can absolutely make it rain. Yeah,
next year.
Yeah, they just have to give up their season tickets. But like, listen, I can't stand up this much. All right, good grief, my knees and my back is shot.
I can't use it.
Yeah, Jasper, God damn it, quit making these buckets. Oh, yeah. If you can't tell, I've been enjoying my time in the off days. These bourbon stouts.
Hey, shout out to Alcoholic Fueled podcast. That was me last week or whatever time last time I recorded.
Yeah, you were talking about how big your protein shake was, how delicious it was. I'm like, yeah, this beer is pretty damn good too.
Well, yeah. I have not. I'm not drinking for a while. I decided, but
good for you.
Protein shake's really good though. I'll say that. But
so as we get into conference play, Saturday's a big one. I don't think beginning of season we would have thought we would have opened up the beginning of SEC play with this big of a game, top 10 matchup.
Undefeated Florida.
Yeah, Florida has looked very, very good. As you get ready for this game on Saturday, which is an 8 a.m. game for me, by the way.
Better get you your rest, Randall. Like I said.
Yeah. I don't know. So I guess it's going to be orange juice and bourbon at tip-off. So it's, breakfast, essentially.
Okay.
Yeah, maybe a little bacon, like stir. That's probably, I think that's the best way to go.
Have a toothpick with the bacon and like that. My drink.
Yeah. Yes. What do we think the Kentucky boys have for a Florida team coming in there? Looking at, they had I don't know if you say, I'll say tough game against UNC because it is North Carolina, and while they haven't played as well as you would think they have been, North Carolina has played some tough opponents and has come out with some gritty wins too. So, but their last two against UNF and Stetson. What do you think Florida has for us as they come into Rupp Arena? Are they ready for conference play?
Yes.
Okay.
Their backcourt is probably one of the best in the nation, hands down.
Yeah, I agree.
So good, and they're experienced. They're not scared of big moments, right? Like they can shoot the ball, they can drive. We're gonna have to be. UK's gonna have to play top-notch defense the entire 40 minutes. No line drives, obviously. You can't leave them wide open because they will shoot a three in your face. It's going to have to team rebound. It's going to be an all hands on deck, all systems go type of game. If there's any part of the system that fails, I don't know if we win the game, to be fair. And that's just me being honest. Like, Florida's really good.
No,
they're really good.
Yeah, I agree. And we're going to find out how good they are. Like, I think they're a very, very good football or basketball team. But they open with Kentucky in Rupp. They get a home stint with Tennessee, undefeated number 1 Tennessee, and then travel to Arkansas. So while Arkansas struggled early on, they have been playing pretty damn good basketball, and I'm a little bit nervous about my trip back home in February. But yes, we're going to find out how good Florida is. Florida could be looking at a number 1, top 3 team in the country if they sweep those 3 games. So,
I mean, I don't say you can't put them in that conversation if they sweep those 3 games. I just don't see it. But you said that. But if you take a look at the SEC, I mean, and the rest of Kentucky's schedule, they play 5 teams in the top 10 in the next 8 games like that. I mean, it's stupid right now. The SEC is stupid, and I don't think there's a single team in the SEC that will only lose 1 or 2, 3 games. I don't think it's going to happen this year. You're going to have teams that are 5, 6, 7 losses and still make the tournament as a high seed because the SEC is a gauntlet. Like it just is what it is.
Yeah, watching SEC Nation and some of these, pundits talking about SEC basketball, they're sitting there like, if you get out of SEC play with 8 losses, like you're probably a top tournament team. Yeah, so it's
you're doing good.
If I think right now, if you told Big Blue Nation, hey, you're going to end the season with 10 losses, I think some of them would panic. But then you got to realize that this is not the SEC play of
10 years ago, even 5 years ago.
Yes, the ones that are sitting down the lower bowl that we were just talking about. It's not their SEC ball where Kentucky just runs that. Like all these guys, like SEC basketball, probably has the heads up with SEC football right now compared to the rest of the nation. Truly they will have 8 to 10 teams in the SEC tournament. So
I think it'd be more than that. I think end of the day you're probably got 12 teams in the tournament. I mean that's a lot. That's crazy. But I think so. I mean, just top to bottom league is so good. Vandy's good, right? Like top to bottom, they're good.
Yeah.
So it's a battle every single time you're on the court.
Yeah, we mentioned this before, but like Missouri, who was the worst team in the conference, just beat the then number one, right? Kansas was number 1 in the country when they won.
They beat Kansas,
Every time Dickerson can lose is great, but you don't expect Missouri to be the team to do it. So
we all know how I feel about him, so it's fine.
Oh, dude, it's absolute trash. Absolute trash. The one thing, though, if there is one thing that Cal did positive for Kentucky before, outside of it was flying in that hangar and talking to Hunter, be like, hey, listen, I'm just going to rack the price up for Kansas because I don't really want you in the first place. So let's make them pay you $2 million so you can suck in Kansas and not in Kentucky. But whatever. But you talk about guard play for Florida.
Yeah.
Walter Clayton Jr. He is the guy exactly. He's the dude that if he's on your team, you love him. And if he's not, you just hate him because he's a
nightmare to guard. Like that's the problem.
Yeah, he's very, very good. He can shoot the ball. He can break you down off the dribble. And if I'm not mistaken, he was the dude Reed Shepherd left open to hit the 3, sent to overtime, and then that was the whole deal, right? Yeah, so
he's why we lost Rupp last year because he could, and he's not afraid to shoot it, guard it either. that's the thing, and it's not I'm on him, coach. You have to have a hand like on his forehead because he will shoot it no matter what. Like that's the type of player that he is.
Yeah.
So I don't know.
And I remember I think he's got a really good story too. Like I think he transferred or something. He's got a little girl too. They were talking about him during that, and you're just like, all right, enough. I'm not trying to. My heart is not trying to like bleed for this guy. I'm not trying to
like the guy. Okay.
Yeah. No, you suck, dude. I don't like you. I don't really care that you girl dad and hashtag you're the best dad ever. I know you stop making buckets, please. I want you to lose the damn game.
The daggone shot.
Yeah.
God.
Wow. Yeah, no. Duke just picked off Jackson Dart, by the way. Number 14 Ole Miss is essentially going to lose the Duke. And it's first half. But anytime Lane Kiffin loses, that's also good.
Lane Kiffin meltdown on Twitter for 2 weeks.
Yep. So they try to do some like crazy formation. All the linemen outside the center on the left side. Jackson Dart throws a pick in the end zone. Great job, Lane.
Ooh.
Great job, bud. So what's the you were telling me what's the update on the women against Mississippi State? That was at halftime, right?
I think they're up by like almost 30.
Oh shit. Okay. That one is in the bag.
I know in the first half, Amore and Deja Lawrence had 30 points together. Mississippi State only had 35 as a team. They were 7 for 10 from the 3-point line in the first half. Those two, just those two, not the rest of the team, just those two.
So while we're on the women's team, real quick, did you see the knock to gear that that they were showing before.
Oh, yeah, I did. I want some of that.
Yes, please. Yeah, we
How
need
can we
some
get the hookup. Like,
yeah, we need some women's basketball hookup for sure. I don't know what do you think I would wear in a women's hoodie?
What are you in a men's?
XL.
Probably a 2.
It doesn't matter. Just send me something. I'll make it fit. I'll cut it off the sleeve.
I will fit it. Okay.
Yeah.
I'll make it happen.
That Noctis stuff was it. Yeah. It was.
Yeah, it was nice.
Slick.
It was really nice.
I have a buddy who was very. I don't know if he wants to say his name, but he was very, really tight with the women's team. And he let me know that there was someone who didn't want their Nocta Kentucky shoes. So he was like, "Hey, it was a women's 12. So she wore a women's 12. So I was like, oh, I can make that work." And he told me the price.
What, 13?
Women's 12 is a men's. It was a women's 12 and a half, which is a men's 11, which is what I wear.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah. So the other way. But then he told me what the price was they wanted for him. I was like,
oh,
yeah. They wanted one shoe.
Right.
It was, let's just say, I was willing to spend a decent amount of money, and it was still more than I was willing to spend. So,
real. And how about your sneakers too?
Yes, I'm a sneaker guy.
Okay, so I lied. They're up 18. They must have scored. It's 64-46 with 3:50 left in the third quarter.
All right. Well, trust Kenny Brooks and the
girls
more
than that at some point
to pull it out.
Yeah.
All right. So as we close out the Florida game, I'm looking at the game here, and we are Clayton 17 points a game. You got Martin 15 points a game, Richard 14 points a game, and Condon. How is this guy? Alex Condon.
Last year. Yeah.
6'11", 230. I don't even remember this guy at all. 6'11", 230
Is he the guy that broke his leg? I think is he that the guy that his leg snapped in the tournament last year?
I honestly don't remember. I saw his name, and I was getting ready to say condom into the microphone, and then I realized that no, that's not it. So it made me click. It made me click his thing, and I was like, "Oh no, that can't be his name." And sure enough, it's not.
That's the guy whose leg snapped.
He's averaging 11 points and 7.5 rebounds and 1.5 blocks a game. So if he snapped his leg, and he's shooting 47.
That was hog hand locked in. Hand locked in. That was like never mind.
And he's shooting 47.1% from three. So yeah, this Florida team is very, very good. It does make me nervous that this could get out of hand quickly. You talk about the guard play, which is good. Their starting five is good. So does our depth, which has been hampered with Kerr being out, does our depth give us an advantage, or does their kind of experience in the system? And you got Walter Clayton, who is he's a senior. Is he a super senior? I don't know if he's a 4-year or 5th-year senior, but he's been in the league for a minute.
I don't know about my head.
Do they have the advantage with their starting five potentially being locked in, and I hate to say more talented, but just like more cohesive is the word I'll use for Florida versus this new team we have with
mean, just starting five, I think I would give them slight advantage just because Condon can shoot so well at 6'11".
Yeah.
Right? Like that is a matchup issue in regards to if Amari's guarding him, you have to guard him on 3-point line. You don't have a choice because he'll shoot it otherwise. And with our bigs out of the middle, that opens up backdoor cuts, driving lanes, no rim protection. It creates a pretty big matchup problem. So, if anything, I'm extremely curious as to how Pope is going to put a game plan together for this. And I don't think this is a team where we can't get down by 10, 11, whatever, and go into halftime at a deficit. We either have to be winning or at least tied at halftime or close to tied at halftime. We can't get into a double-digit deficit and expect to come back against Florida. Like, I just don't think so. I don't. It's not one of those. They're not one of those teams that ever let up the gas. I don't feel like Clayton Jr. is a dog. So he's coughing.
Yeah, I'm looking at their stat, like their splits here. So what's Clayton? Clayton is 30% from three. So I think he is a big bucket. Like when you need one, you could go to him, but he's not shooting great from three from the field, at least this year. This Elijah Martin kid.
I don't trust those numbers. I don't care. I've seen him hit too many big shots.
Agreed. Yeah, we've seen it firsthand. If you're looking at, let's see, this Elijah Martin kid, he is, it says away, so these are away numbers, 26% from three.
Mm-hmm.
This Will Richard kid, 6'4", senior, he's probably like the Brea type where you give him the green light. He's shooting 41% from three just on away. And this year, 2024, 51.1% from three. Or I'm sorry, 51 from the field. So yeah, so they have really good play here, and you're hoping that we can put two halves together, right? I think that to your point is, can we put two halves together offensively and defensively? The first half, we were lights out defensively. Our offense kind of couldn't find its way. The second half, the defense did what it needed to do, but the offense kind of found its level there. So, like, can we make shots? And where we get to open it, we get to open SEC play at home. So I think that's massive. So if you're going to play a Florida team on the rise, let's do it at home, where we can use Rupp to our advantage.
No, I agree. And Rupp, please freaking be loud the entire game.
Yes.
Like, it should not be quiet for 1 second on Saturday. I don't care. No, should not be. Should not be. Like, that should be a thing. It's
got to be loud and ruckus and just everything that you can think of. I don't care if you're holding a snuck-in cocktail or a freaking soft serve ice cream. Get on your damn feet and get loud.
And if anybody gets arrested, I'm pretty sure BBN would probably like get your bail for you. Just saying. Yeah,
everything's gonna be fine.
You know,
I mean,
well, no, I'm saying because the fan that tried to get someone arrested before for standing up. You know that.
Oh
Karen.
yeah, which is like. Let me be careful with what I say here. As a law enforcement guy, and if I'm in that situation, taking the Kentucky fandom out of it, I'm like, shut up. Just I don't care.
Yep.
Just stop. If you have a problem with it, you can leave. I'm not going to go down and waste my time and try to make a fool of myself saying, sit down, sir.
Or you're going to go to jail.
Yeah. Ridiculous, man.
No, that's ridiculous.
This is why I sit up in the upper bowl with the non-rich folk, because like they just don't care. Like when I was at the Georgia game, there was people behind me, and I was dancing and losing my mind, sitting on the floor, blah blah blah. I went down there and got a beer, brought him up a beer, and said, "Hey, I know, I understand. I'm a lot to handle. Here's a beer, and I appreciate you not screaming at me." And they were like, "Oh, you didn't have to do that, but thank you." And I was like, "Yeah, absolutely. I get it. I'm a lot. I'm too much probably, but here's your cold beer, here's your Bud Light, and you can enjoy that while I continue to be an absolute handful." Right? So it's like, but you can't. It's like that little like courtesy just over here. Yeah, it's like that whole courtesy just kind of like goes away. Where it's like, standing up. I don't know. It's too much. But until I don't think it'll ever happen. But if as much as I hate Duke, but if we ever saw Rupp Arena like in Cameron Indoor, where the student section kind of wrapped around the lower bowl on the court,
my dream.
Like Rupp Arena would truly be a top 1 or 2 atmosphere in the country for sure.
Mm-hmm. That's my dream. I couldn't like it. It'd be so good. Like I just want to see it like one time against a big team and see what happens. I do because I think it would be the best atmosphere in college ball. Because you'd have 10, 15,000 people going nuts on the lower bowl, and the upper bowl people would be going crazy too. Like you don't. That's crazy. Like we need that. But
yeah, and Mitch,
pay for everything, I guess. So.
Yeah, and I get that, but my point was like, Mitch, listen, like people will be pissed for a year, maybe 2 years, but like when you start winning games because of those situations, because as much as you hate the Duke fan, like trying to like jiggle somebody like the player's ear, like as they're like, trying to give them like a little noogie as they're like, freaking trying to pass the ball in. As much as you hate that watching it, if it happened in Rupp Arena, you'd be like, hell yeah. That's what I'm talking about.
Right? We would love it.
Big Blue Nation helping us win games. And then we'd win ball games, and then there'd be an issue, would it be like the eruption zone throughout the entire, first 5-6 sections of the lower ball would be absolutely phenomenal. But probably don't see it. If we do see it, it will truly change college basketball. So,
yes.
we'll see.
I agree.
But what do you think? I'm going to put you on the spot. I'm going to make you go first. First.
God.
What is the score prediction? Florida at Rupp. What do you think? Do we get a W, and by how much?
Oh hell. Okay.
Let me help you first. 61% chance of winning by ESPN Analytics. And let's see. We are a 1.5 point favorite. Florida money line is even money though. So if you bet 100, you get 100 back. So really not a lot going on there.
So basically Vegas is like 50-50 chance at this point.
Basically, and it's a road game for Florida. So if this was a neutral,
that is true.
Neutral game, Florida gets the advantage.
1,000%. Here's what I'm saying. I think, and this obviously depends on a lot of things, but if Rupp Arena is Rowdy Rupp on Saturday, okay, if that place is bonkers the entire game, I think the boys get the dub.
Okay.
I am going to say, because both teams scored a pretty high clip anyways, regardless for the most part.
Yep. Florida 87 points per game, Kentucky 89 points per game.
Right. So I'm going to say it's going to be 78-72 Kentucky.
Free throws at the end of the game? Is that what the spread is? That what gets us big?
I think it would make free throws, which that's why I said it depends on a lot of things. And I expect, not expect, but I'm thinking I'm feeling some like Lamont Butler like defensive magic happening here. Like a good stop, a steal, something to seal it at the end of the game.
Yep.
That's what I'm feeling.
I'm rolling with you. This is the conference play game where you gotta have it. Lamont Butler is the player of the game. I don't know if it's going to be offensively. I don't think we're going to get a perfect from the field type game, but I do think when we talk about like their guard play and what they can do, Walter Clayton Jr. being this guy, Lamont Butler comes in and is like, hey, Walter Clayton, have you been to a Final Four? Have you been to a national championship game? Nope. Let me lock you down real quick and make you feel some pain. And then it's the other guys can step up. Can Ortega get 15? Can Jackson Robinson get 15 to 18? Can Barea come in there and hit 3+ threes? And can we please, God, at least be even on the rebounding margin? That being said,
it has to be a team effort.
Yes.
So.
Yeah, I agree. That being said, I do think this is more of a defensive struggle as we open up SEC play, especially with both teams, still trying to kind of come off of the New Year or Christmas, New Year's kind of leave schedule-ish. So I'm going to say we win 75-70.
Okay.
We get a last minute, similar to you, when the spread isn't big, but we get a last minute stop where they could bring it close. We get a stop to close the game out. And we leave Rupp Arena January 4th with 1-0 in SEC play. That's my prediction, 70-75.
I'm with it.
So we're
very similar in our thoughts.
Similar. We both got Lamont Butler as the guy who needs to bring it home for us. That's why we went and got him. That's why we went and brought him all the way from the left coast to the right coast so that he can.
Right. He's been in big games before, so it's not something that he should shy away from at all, right? Like, he should embrace the moment. He's been here before.
Yeah.
So
let's hope he can do it, and let's hope that he is not the only one who. I'm looking at rebounds per game, 45.7 to us, 42.3. So, like, you tell me there's only a 3-point difference in rebound margin, we win the game. I think that's fair.
I think we have to out rebound them by 10.
I think we have to out rebound them. Oh wow.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
By 10. Mm-hmm.
Oof, that might be a tough ask.
I know. That's why I said it's a team effort. Like, that's why I said earlier, like, rebounding has to be something they focus on. It can't. I think the most frustrating thing for me too, and I know it's off tangent and it should have been said earlier, but a lot of times Garrison and Williams are left by themselves to rebound in the post when other team has 3 or 4 people down there, and the guards kind of stay around or they leak out. Like, in SEC play especially, it's going to have to be all 5 players go get the ball. Like, and too many times I see a ball bounce behind Williams or Garrison, another team gets it. It should never bounce, ever. Like, all 5 players have to get the ball. And I think we do that. If that happens, I think that's where we outread them by 10 plus and win the game.
Yeah, and I've seen too many times where our bigs are getting moved off the block way too easy. Too many slight little forearms kind of getting them off of their position, which makes them lose the rebound. And as much as Cal didn't talk basketball to us fans in his press conference, one thing that he did say consistently was, if you're going to try to get a ball with one hand, I'm going to put your ass on the bench. If you go for a ball, it's got to be 2 hands. 2 hands on the basketball, or get your ass on the floor, like die for it. Like, you can this whole like reaching for it can't happen. This is outside of a tip out, you got to go up strong with 2 hands. So you got to see it happen. And as good as a passer as Amari is, he sometimes gets some stone fingers, man. Just like you see this thing, like he just doesn't have the ability to like gracefully catch a basketball, which is frustrating at times.
He's not a very graceful player, period, to be fair. He's not.
No.
Like, he's not a graceful player in that regard. It's just who he is and how he is, and which is fine. But when you have paws that big, it should not be an issue catching the ball. Like, that should not be an issue.
Yeah. Yeah, I get shooting the basketball. Like, free throws, he looked like that seemed to be improving, but you're that big. It's like, shooting a tennis ball. Like, it becomes a little bit difficult. But yeah, use them big mitts, get soft hands, catch the basketball. Yeah. And please God, if I can have one thing in the Florida game, it would be like 4 or 5 just dunks instead of these like finesse layups. Just like, I don't even care.
Just go through their chest.
If you're going for the second line on the block, just absolutely just go try to yam it on somebody. And Ole Miss is now 14-0 on Duke, and Lane Kiffin's probably going to get a W, unfortunately. So, how the women doing real quick before we close this thing out?
They are up 80-61 with 5:30 left in the fourth quarter.
Oh man, let's get 100-piece on these girls.
Yeah, our team they're shooting the ball pretty well. Look, he's done a phenomenal job too, to be fair.
Yeah, Kenny Brooks is he can coach. He's got the swag. I mean, he is doing his thing right now. I don't want to jinx it. I'm gonna knock on wood real quick. Could you imagine a women's and men's Final Four for Kentucky?
This state would melt, Brando.
Belligerent. Golly.
Like, we're already bad enough as it is, but like, if that happened, oh, good heavens!
Like, Tennessee's boasting their their women's and men's basketball right now, even though they haven't really like truly played deep into haven't had the competition that Kentucky has had. But yeah, if we get to the end of the season, and then get into tournament time, and we go on a run. 2 brand new coaches, 2 brand new teams, and go deep. Yeah, the top of the basketball world going through Kentucky. I know for sure I'm gonna be loud about it.
Nope. Georgia just hit another 3-pointer. They're now 17 for 27 tonight in threes.
Georgia
Amore is ridiculous, but
she's a beast.
Yeah.
She's a beast. How tall is she?
Like 5'2", 5'3". She's not very tall, I don't think. Hold on. How tall is she? Maybe 5'6"? She's not very big.
No, I was thinking 5'3" or less. But just
she is
absolute
not
weapon.
A large player, but she's very good. How tall is she? She's 5'6".
Oh, is she? Okay. All right. She's taller than I thought.
That's still small as far as guard play stuff in the SEC goes. Like, that's not big, but she don't care.
Just getting buckets. But let's it'd be wild. Let's go beat South Carolina women's basketball. Let's just go.
And they've lost this year, so they don't seem as invincible. Like, they lost a lot from last year that they're still trying to figure the pieces out.
The whole landscape, men's and women's football, basketball. It's like the parity is coming out where it's like, for a decade it was UConn just would not lose a game. Like, they got all the best talent, and then boom, and all of a sudden, like, as much as I hate NIL and what it brings to as much confusion,
turmoil, and chaos as it brings.
Chaos. That it brings. It's like it is bringing some sort of parity, because it's like, hey, I can go to a really good team and make X money, or I can go to a decent team and make more money, and then you get the talent spread is all over the place. So, and we're seeing that money does wonders, but coaching also matters. Like, coaching is massive with these. Yeah,
you're still able to coach the players you get, or it does you no good, or you end up losing 20 people to the transfer portal. You know what I mean? Like, football, basketball, if you don't coach them and they don't produce, they're just going to leave anyways. So you still be able to coach the players that you get no matter what.
That is right. Well, with that, we're going to end the episode. Let's get back here next week, 1-0 in conference play, and talk about how good this team is. If we don't win, it ain't going to be a killer, but golly, would it be nice to start off the Pope era in SEC play with a W. Selena, it was good talking to you. Hope your new year has been great as we started off. So far. If you haven't been in Vegas or New Orleans, it has been good. Shout out, blessings to everybody who is in that area. There is too much evil in this world, and hopefully Kentucky sports, for those who listen to us, can bring a little bit of sunshine to the world that currently continues to suck. But it doesn't suck, Kentucky basketball, and we're going to lean on that, because in an environment where it's tough to find some positive, let's use sports to bring us together. How's that sound?
I like it.
All right. As always, I appreciate you dealing with my nonsense. Go Cats, bleed blue.
Go Cats.
Thanks for joining us on another episode of the Bleed Blue Network podcast. We hope you enjoyed diving deep into the world of Kentucky sports with us. Don't forget to stay connected by following us on Twitter at BleedBNation. Your feedback means the world to us. So take a moment to leave a review. Not only does it help us improve, but it also helps others discover the show. Until next time, keep cheering, keep listening, and keep bleeding blue.